Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at The Boys issue 2, and we got a lot to cover in this issue. We have a lot of first appearances, we have a lot of action going on, a lot of information, so let's dive right into it. Basically, we start off with Miss Rayner, which we saw previously in issue 1. She's going over some files, and we find out that she's in her computer going through a file, and we see Butch pulled up on the computer, and she's basically just going through it in her mind, talking about the case that Butch was working on and what kind of work he does. And we're taken right back from issue 1 into the park with Butch and Huey when they first met, when they're sitting down on the bench, and we have a little dialogue exchange of Butch telling him, like, I know what you're going through, you know, it's not right what happened to you and your girlfriend, and I'll be like straight honest with you, I know exactly everything that happened, and this is why I'm here. He even goes into detail, telling him about the superhero that killed his girlfriend Robin, A-Train, that he didn't care about doing it. And Huey is just crying to the point where Butch is like, hey, you want to see something funny? You see that dog over there? Check this out. I'm going to have Tara do something. Go ahead, Tara. Go check this out. And basically leaves Huey to see what's going on with Tara and the other dog while he goes and checks on something. And then we're taken into the scene and we're introduced to the Frenchman, and it's the first time we ever see him in the comic book. And he's sitting at a cafe shop, just, you know, drinking coffee, minding his business. He's in his thoughts, talking to himself basically, and we get an exchange of words between some other patrons in the tea shop or coffee shop, and there's a few words exchanged. And we see the Frenchman just drop his glasses down, or his goggles, and he goes completely crazy on the bar. He bashes the two guys. He bashes another guy with the cup. I mean, it's a really, really good scene. I don't think Amazon, the series, did it any justice. He really goes wrecking on these guys. The next thing you know, you see Butch coming into the tea shop, and the Frenchman's all over him, giving him hugs and kisses, telling him he's missed him, where's he been, what's he's been up to. And in the meantime, we see Butch returning to the little park that Huey's at, and Huey's just like not crying anymore. He's really laughing because we got Tara humping the other dog, and basically like Huey's just like, oh my God, how'd you get him to do that? That's crazy. And we get a exchange of words like, hey, it's all right, everything's gonna be better. Butch is trying to kind of like reassure Huey that he's a good guy, he can trust him, he can, confide information in him, basically, make him real trustworthy. And that's when we see them walking out of the park, and that's when we learned that Butch had a team before this that used to check superheroes and all their actions and what they do. And then we're taking straight to a new character that hasn't been seen yet in issue 1, and her name is the female of the species, in quotation marks, of the species. And basically we have her knocking on a door, and we really don't know what's going on. We hear a lot of rattling, we see some people smoking inside. We really don't know what's going inside, besides we see this young looking woman of Asian descent knocking on the door, and she has like this crazy wild hair. She's in all black. She looks pretty sick, I must say. And then boom, all of a sudden on the next layout, we're hit with like a face on the window, blood everywhere. I mean, it really gets nasty, only to find out that Butch has been watching her in the cut the whole time. And then we're taken back to Huey and Butch talking again. And it's already nighttime. They're already walking out the park. They're by a bridge, and they're just going back and forth, kind of like telling each other what's going on, what's been going on with the soups. And Butch tells them that it's gonna be all right. He's got a plan for this. And then we're taken right into being introduced to no other than Mother's Milk. And I'm gonna tell you this, guys. Like, this guy is a wrecking ball. I mean, he's beautifully drawn. I mean, he's definitely the character to watch out for. and he definitely doesn't disappoint. He's a single dad taking care of a family at home. I mean, he's everything, like he's really trying to be that father that his kids need him to be. And we have Butch going, telling him that he needs him to join him back, and they need to do some action. They got a few soups out of line that they need to check. And meanwhile, his daughter goes outside. Mother's Milk's daughter goes outside. She kind of got like a date going on with some like quote unquote gangbangers, I guess you would call them, or some thugs. And we got Butch walking up to them, basically crushing the gun, which for a second makes you think that Butch kind of got some kind of powers. But then he says the Glock was fake, which means like the gun was fake. And that tells us that in like this world, they're also selling fake guns and everything else. And not just that, we're taking back to Butch and Huey, and they're just telling each other the game plan, what's going on. And Butch gives Huey an envelope full of money and tells him there's an address there to meet him in 2 weeks, and to find an apartment in New York and call that number when he does. And we pretty much end the issue at that. And thank you for tuning in. Drop your comments below what you thought about this issue. And if you have any suggestions, please go ahead and DM me. And thank you for tuning in. Have a good day.